Hey everyone, it's Mike with It's Pittsfield Tonight. It is Friday, October 17th, and I'm going to jump right into it. First, I want to kick off with today, Friday, October 17th, 10 a.m. at the Senior Center. The Ralph Froyo, I always struggle pronouncing that one. The Ralph Froyo, I believe is how you pronounce it, Senior Center on North Street at 10 a.m. There is a candidate meet and greet. There'll be quite a few candidates there, not all of them, but most of them, from what I understand. I will be there. I hope other people go there. Last night, Thursday the 16th, and the night before, Wednesday the 15th, were the debates at BCC. So Wednesday was Ward 2, and Ward 5, and then the school committee. And then last night was Ward 6, Ward 7, and the at-large city council debates. Nobody was there at either one of them. It was really sad to see that. And I get it. I do get it. And I'm going to touch on that. But nobody was there. And I've covered a lot of elections over the past decade. And I remember pulling up to BCC where you had, going into the debates, you'd come in the entranceway and there'd be a group of people holding signs for their candidate. Up a little bit further, another group, people all over holding signs for their candidates. You'd go inside the auditorium, the Bolin Theater, and it would be packed. The theater would be packed. The moderators would have to say, please hold your applause and cheering till the end, which they did at these past ones last night and the night before. And it was comical to me because when the moderators said that, I'm looking around going, well, it's me and 6 other people and the camera operators and stagehands. So it was sad. And when you watch the debates, and I'm sure some of you, I hope, did watch them online. PCTV streams them on their Facebook page. They stream them on all their other platforms, Roku and every other platform that they upload to, and of course through their website. But watching them is like watching somebody get a root canal. I get why people are not interested. We don't have politicians anymore that inspire, that get people excited, that are out there really motivating people to want to be involved, because that is the role of these politicians. And you watch them on the stage and they all say the same cliche phrases or the new politically correct way of saying things. And it's hard to sit there and listen to it. Like with homeless people, okay? We've changed how we identify them so many times, and there's always a new politically correct way of saying it now. Now it's the unhoused or housing insecurities. When I'm still on those in homelessness. I've tried to keep up with the politically correct stuff because you're always offending somebody, but they change it so many times, and bottom line is they're homeless. We have people that are homeless. I was one when I was a teenager. I was homeless. But you watch the candidates on that stage last night, and this is what it was like. I think we need to be caring and compassionate, and for those that are unhoused, and do our research, and I mean, it was as boring and unexciting as could be. And for people my age, I'm an old guy now, people my age and older still remember certain politicians in Pittsfield. Like the name Pete Arlos is still thrown around. And I was a little kid, but I remember my father yelling his name about stuff. And I remember him driving down the street with a car that was completely covered in bumper stickers that said Pete Arlos for city council. I still remember that. And I couldn't have been, I probably was in kindergarten or first grade or something. But whether you agree with him or not, I don't know enough about Pete Arlos to know what his stance was back then. But he got people involved, engaged, excited to participate. There's none of that anymore. None of that. And it's the fault of the politicians. I think people are so burnt out on a lot of the politics right now. They just want to hear what's going on and they want the truth. They don't want to hear a bunch of bullshit about I created millions of dollars of jobs and I did this and I did that, when it's all just campaign rhetoric. I heard that in the Ward 5 debate, and no offense to the Ward 5 counselor, Patrick Cavey. I have nothing against him whatsoever. Patrick is always welcome to come on. It's Pittsfield Tonight, as well as any other elected official. I know some people said, why are you being so harsh on Dina in my last video on our Ward 6 city councilor, Dina Lampiazzi? I couldn't believe what she said about Walmart. If you watch that in the last video, I thought it was completely inappropriate. That's not, a city councilor isn't there to tell us about how they personally feel about a business or something like that. That's not their role. Patrick Cavey said he helped create over $30 million in job growth and investments in Ward 5. And I was in the audience and floored by that, because I went, what? How did a city councilor do that? I don't care who you are. How did a city councilor do that? I mean, I think a $22 million investment was made by Interprint. And I believe Patrick was on the council when that was presented to them as the city awarded Interprint a 10-year TIF for, I believe it was $489,000, close to $500,000 over the span of 10 years. And they made these huge improvements. They did an addition to the facility. They hired new employees, and Interprint is a big deal. A city councilor, other than voting on that TIF, and maybe a councilor can go and tour the facility and ask some questions, but that's not the role of a legislator. Legislators don't create those things. And they don't negotiate the deals. I think he mentioned Janus America, which is coming in. I'd be curious to ask Patrick, and again, this is no offense or not an attack on Patrick Cavey, but that sounded like a bunch of campaign rhetoric to me. And I think that doesn't work anymore. Just like it doesn't work with the counselors up there going, bah, 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 in this monotone, no enthusiasm, no excitement, no nothing. And you look out into the auditorium and it was empty both nights. A handful of people, literally. And some of them, like on Wednesday night, some of them were the city councilors that were going to be at the following night debate. Some of them last night were city councilors and school committee candidates that were there the night before. And then you have the PCTV crew, the people from iBerkshires that put the debate together and hosted it. And literally just a few people like myself that were there, and both of them I left a little bit early. My legs went numb, and I just couldn't take it. The Ward 6 debate, the candidate running against Dina Lampiazzi, Walter Powell, did not show up. And I know a lot of people have messaged me about that. I had messaged Walt yesterday and asked if he was going to be there. He said yes. And I believe he had a family emergency. He did send a statement apologizing for that. He said he had a family emergency and he could not make it. And that's too bad, because a lot of people have asked me about Mr. Powell in this election cycle, and I haven't seen him other than once. He's been very difficult to get in touch with, and I know he's had a lot personally going on. So I'm not too sure how that's going to work out. He will be on the ballot. I've been told the ballots are printed. He's on there. But he wasn't able to make it last night. So Dina Lampiazzi, the Ward 6 counselor, did speak to some issues. And what else was she supposed to do? So it was more of a question and answer with her. She had the option to scrap the whole thing, but she decided, no, I'm here. Let's do this. But yeah, I mean, that's, if you watch that debate and you go back and watch it, it's not a debate. I wish they'd stop calling them debates. There's no debating. It's a question and answer. I had to laugh when the moderator for the at-large question and answer, Sean Sear from PCTV, I felt like he took something right out of one of my videos. The one where I think a lot of you've seen that, where I was talking about, all these people complaining, saying, why don't we have an Olive Garden or a Trader Joe's or a Dave & Buster's? And he said the same thing verbatim. Could be a coincidence, or maybe he's a fan of It's Pittsfield Tonight secretly. But overall, it was not a debate. There was nothing exciting or invigorating or anything about it. And that's why many of you, I think, are not involved. And the campaign rhetoric and the bullshit, nobody wants to hear that. The residents want to hear what's going on, what are you going to do, how are we going to get these issues addressed, period. That's what they want to hear. Yes, do counselors have a role in if they want to bring a petition, submit a petition to the council and see if their colleagues are on board and try to get something done in that way? Yes, that happens all the time. Usually it's traffic things, those type of things going on in the city. As far as a city councilor creating job growth, that's not the role of a legislator. That's not what they do. That's under City Hall. We have a business marketing manager, Michael Coakley, who his boss is the mayor. That's the executive branch. And the mayor does that. The mayor's office puts forward job growth and works on things where they're soliciting and marketing to businesses on why they should come to Pittsfield. And that is why Michael Coakley is there. They call it the red carpet team. I wish they would dump that. That's so old school and sounds cheesy and lame. It really does, sorry. But he is the business marketing manager. That is his job. For city councilors, anytime you hear a city councilor saying that they created all this job growth, that sounds ridiculous to me. Absolutely ridiculous. But yeah, so anyway, I had to touch on that. I want people to get involved. I want people to be excited and participate in our politics. It scares me when like the last 2 nights, seeing that auditorium empty. The last meet and greet last week at the senior center, nobody showed. It was just the candidates. And I'm worried about that today. So 10 a.m. at the Ralph Frorio, I think Frorio, but the Ralph Frorio Senior Center, 10 a.m. on North Street. And I'm not picking on anybody's name. That's just a really tough one to say. 10 a.m. today. Friday, October 17th, 10 a.m. at the Senior Center on North Street. Free parking in the back or on-street parking. The first 30 minutes is free. You can pop in, say hi, ask some questions. If you need to stay longer than that, last time I stayed for 2 hours, I spent 90 cents on parking. And there's plenty of spots open. There was when I was there the last time. The whole front was open, so it wasn't a far walk at all. It was like 50 feet. But go if you can. Get involved. Get involved. Don't just put stuff on social media. Follow through. And that's another thing I'm going to touch on before I wrap this, and this goes on too long. But when the city councilors go complaining on Facebook and social media, blah, 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 they if they could only hear themselves. When I heard a city councilor, I think it was Pete White, say that last night, I wanted to yell out, "You sound just like one of them complaining on Facebook right now. You're complaining about people complaining." Get on board with the future. It's social media. It's the future. It's not going away. Social media isn't the problem. People will find different avenues and different ways to communicate. It's just that social media allows people instant connections with others and group. It's like a big conference call for everyone. A story or a post goes up and everybody can jump in and put their 2 cents in. That's how it works. And whether you like some of it or not, address it if you don't. Address it. That's what I do. When I see negative stuff, I address it. And I don't be an asshole about it. I try very hard not to be. But address it. Social media is not the problem. Sometimes people do crazy things, but the platforms are wonderful. It's the new way, and it's been that way for a long time now. Years and years. So when I hear city councilors say that, it's like, oh my God, it sounds like an old person going, these young whippersnappers and their computers and all their gadgets, get your ball out of my yard. That's what it sounds like to me. So for them bashing Facebook and other platforms, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. I don't think anybody does. Let's hear about what the real issues are. Let's hear how we're going to address them. And most importantly, get people inspired and engaged and excited to be involved, because this stuff is that important. It's that important. These people are making decisions that will directly impact and affect your life. And I want to see a voter turnout. Can we get 25 or 30% of our registered voters? I mean, a lot of people are calling for a 15 to 17% voter turnout for this election. I hope not. Get involved, vote. It takes 10, 15 minutes of your time to go vote. And if you don't vote, you can't complain, period. You didn't participate. What are you complaining about? You should be mad at yourself, because voting does matter. How do you think those people got on the council that we have now? They were voted in. Vote. Get involved. And try to get inspired. And to the city councilors, try to inspire people. Have some excitement. Inspire people. That's your role. Get them engaged. Community, team spirit. Let's go. Let's do this. It doesn't all have to be negative, gloom and doom when people talk politics. All right, so that's my rant for today. Please, some of you, I hope to see you at the Ralph J. Froio Senior Center. Sorry, I've been up. It's been a long night. I've been up editing video after I came home. But yeah, the Froio Senior Center. Today, the Senior Center on North Street, 10 a.m. It's the meet and greet with the candidates. Go. And to those of you that are running for office that want to be featured on It's Pittsfield Tonight, just DM the page. I'll get back to you. We'll set a time. I have some interviews that will be coming up with Sarah Hathaway, who's running for at-large, Kathy Moody, who's running for Ward 7, and Earl Persip, who is running at-large, and he's the city council vice president. And then some more after that. Jacob Klein. There's a few more after that. I've just got to do the final scheduling. I wanted to get through these debates. So hopefully see you today. 10 a.m., Senior Center, Friday, October 17th. Take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and I'll catch you all in the next day or two.